I almost did the thing just now when I go to hit the red button to record, but I'm on the wrong screen, and I hovered the mouse over the leave call button.
That's not, like, hang on.
I was like,
that's not right.
Wait a second, that's not it.
Man, it feels like every time we do these, they're getting longer and longer apart. But, no. Last episode was the live episode. So I guess it didn't feel as official in my brain space.
We also waited till the last minute again.
Yeah,
I've been distracted with a couple of different things lately.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. And I've been, as well, pretty bogged down with schoolwork, but this is a time that's been able to work for both of us. But yeah, I mean, as soon as our Patreon gets going, we can pay an editor 4 pence a week to do whatever. No, we can probably do 4 episodes daily. So
is that your plan? You're gonna quit school and just be a Minty Boy?
Yeah, and then we'll become a global corporation that buys and sells podcasts and have a monopoly on the audio-based entertainment business.
Oh God, yeah! Make it you can only listen to podcasts on our proprietary service. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
You said global. I thought you were bringing it back around to France, and I was like, they didn't hear that conversation. Wobs, they missed that one. That wasn't recorded.
Oh yikes! Yeah. That whole France thing wasn't on record.
No. Thank God.
Can you... Yeah. Luckily, not to my knowledge, we have any French listeners, unless there is. Like as in this point of time, as of recording.
No,
I don't think so. I'm actually worried if just offended someone.
Yeah. Well, I'm more thinking I just said we, and now, like, do I have to label this as English and French? I don't think so. I don't think that's enough.
I think we're fine.
I think we're good.
Oui. So, follow up.
Quoi?
I think you've been the front runner, fronting the front foreground of the follow up this month. So if you wanna.
Oh right. So previously we talked about the mobile company who's clearly
of course, yes,
infringed upon our branding.
Of course.
Mint Mobile. I was watching some web series content, and I came across a Mint Mobile sponsorship. So
Mint Mobile, please sponsor us.
Maybe image in the show notes, but it's the key information here is we've confirmed that they do in fact do sponsorships.
So hashtag ad if you wanna get whatever Mint Mobile offer that's different to other phone companies, you can go get that.
Yeah.
For insert price here, at insert website here, / insert code here.
No. This podcast is not brought to you by Mint Mobile, but it could be. Just
hint.
Get in touch.
Our business email's in the description as always. I don't think it is, but
our Twitter is in the description, and if you're in charge of marketing at Mint Mobile, just slide right into those DMs.
Yeah, either me or Scar will reply depending on which hours you reply on. Or send even.
Now that business is out of the way, did you have anything else? Oh, I guess while we're still on the topic of follow-up, monthly update on Scar's dreams.
And sleep. in general, I guess.
Yeah. Wobbles, have you ever had, like, I've been told this is called sleep paralysis,
No.
where you feel like you can't move and you just
And then there's
screaming internally.
thing- yeah, and then there's like normally you'll see just someone watching you.
Yeah.
Even actually there are national differences. I think American encounters are slightly more interesting, whereas more, I guess, but according to, like, I'm just saying in general, where like records of like more European people, they've just said that the things they've seen hasn't been too intense during sleep paralysis, but
Well,
why'd you bring it up?
I like the scariest dream I guess I've ever had, which I wasn't really aware of, like, sleep paralysis as a concept at the time, but I do remember I felt like I was just in my bed,
Right.
like I was awake, but maybe I wasn't, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
remember like screaming but not being able to scream, and I don't remember someone watching me, but I remember someone moving around. Like, I think I saw them walk like past or like run past.
Some people have said that it's even been like people have been like attacked in their sleep by the things, and it's like, oh yikes. Normally it's like a blanket over your chair that the part of your body that tries to find people in danger is like, oh my gosh, that's a guy with the big knife that's gonna carve his initials into your forehead after ripping out your eyeballs with a melon baller.
Huh. Yeah, I think, if I remember correctly, that in the one I had a while back, I had like the impression that there was like a pillow over my head, but I could see light through it, I guess, because I could see like the shape of someone moving around, but I couldn't.
I wonder if it was probably just like the feeling of stiffness in your body and everything made your body feel weird.
Yeah.
But
more recently, between recording the last episode and this episode, I didn't have that exactly, but I had 2 dreams in the same night, which is fairly common, because it's like I'll go without having any, and then usually I'll get like 3 dreams in a row where I just wake up and then I have another dream, and then like rapid fire. But I had 2 back to back, and I think I had a third one that was like different.
Right.
But I had 2 back to back where it was like it had that same feeling of being paralyzed, but it was like sort of more within a dream. Like, I don't remember the first one very well. But But I remember the second one. I was on a bus, and the bus started like just like careening off of the road into like the tops of some trees or something, because I guess it was on like the side of a mountain or something.
Right, yeah.
But I remember like the whole time, like even before it started going off, it was like I had that same feeling of like not being able to move.
Right. Weird.
Yeah, not fun. Not a fun experience.
So 2 dreams you told me about that involve buses and...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The other one was...
What was the other one? It was with Idris Elba in it.
Yeah, and bus surfing in London on double-deckers. I mean, you can imagine that was fun until you went under Marble Arch.
Yeah. Eventually we'll have enough data. Maybe I should legitimately, not to like add more segments onto this show, but maybe I should legitimately start keeping a dream journal instead of just arbitrarily plucking ones.
Right, yeah. Or maybe you should start taking LSD.
Start?
That might
So
no, that would explain the dreams. Yeah.
So did you want to bring up something, or did you want to I guess while we are discussing previous stuff, we could follow up on that Good Omens show that I mentioned previously?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, Good Omens. Yeah, talk about... well, it was a thing that you did enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't remember if I had seen the whole show when we recorded last time, or if I had seen half of it, because I watched half and then I watched the second half.
Right.
And I can't remember if we recorded between or after. But anyways, it's very good. And I think you were just mentioning you saw something.
Oh yeah, there was a. So I was in a bookstore the other day, and there was a Good Omens book.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was just wondering if it was one of those things where it was an adaptation of a book.
Yes.
Or if it was now a book, but...
So it's an adaptation of a book.
Cool. So it's become more popular because of the show now. More than things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the book was a collaboration between two authors that are fairly popular already. But yeah, it's definitely, especially like on the internet, has taken off recently because of the Amazon Prime series. And I haven't read the book myself because, as we've discussed previously, like not very good at doing the whole actual reading thing. Even for the Mabuka.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like I'm often reading it at the last minute. Because I've set like the deadline and that I feel like I have to. So that doesn't bode well for me reading in my free time. But
right, yeah.
But I've heard from people who have read the book and seen the series that it's very, very close to it follows the book very well, which is always good to hear.
That's quite nice.
Yeah,
like the first Harry Potter movie.
Yeah, not as much the later Harry Potter movies, although they weren't nearly as bad as the Hobbit movies, for instance, which weren't nearly as bad as the Narnia movies that didn't even get to be finished being made because the Lewis estate pulled the rights because they were going way too far off the books.
Yeah. Is that why it ended on like the third book?
Yeah, because like the first one followed the book pretty well. The second one, it went a little bit off book, but it was still a decent movie. The third one, it was like, what am I watching? Why is the White Witch here? What's happening? Like,
why is there an island filled with spooky ghosts and doves and boats? What? Why? And then the boy turns into a dragon.
Well, that happens in the book, yeah, but
but it was with like 2012 CG 2000.
I
don't remember.
Yeah. It did probably look cheesy. I don't quite remember it very well.
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe it was like some of the best CG of the 21st century.
Although I read somewhere that Netflix has all the rights to Narnia now, which is
interesting.
It's interesting. I'm hopeful that they will do a good job with it. They seem to do pretty well with that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They're not making their own stuff.
As long as it's not anime.
Yeah.
I hear that they don't do as well with that.
Or originals. They're not.
Well, I mean
the best.
But like, I guess what I'm comparing it to is like the series of unfortunate events series they did.
Oh, yeah. I got to the last episode and I kind of stopped. I need to finish that.
Yeah, I want to reread the books before I like continue watching it. But what I saw of that,
fair enough.
What I saw of that show, it seems like pretty accurate to the book. So I'm hoping that,
and also
the Narnia one will
as well
do the same.
The series Unfortunate Events still has like the cartoony style of the books as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. We went down a side tangent here, which
maybe we could do an MBP review on series Unfortunate Events at some point, or whatever. So,
Backtrack, Narnia,
Good
books,
Omens.
Good Omens. So,
Good Omens.
yeah, but that's it's an Amazon Prime series.
Right.
I don't know what else they are developing right now other than the Lord of the Rings one, which we already know is not going to be based on the books, because that's not even what they have the rights to, per se. So, I don't...
Right.
I don't know that this... It makes me happy to hear that it's a very good adaptation, but I don't know what to do with that knowledge going forward, because I don't know any other adaptations they're working on.
Yeah.
But something kind of funny has occurred related to that recently. I don't know if you saw anything about this.
No. No.
Here, I'll send you some articles.
Sure thing. Ah. Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
So, do you want to summarize, or should I?
So, a bunch of people, I guess namely Christians, were petitioning to Netflix to remove Good Omens, for quote making Satanism appear normal, light, and acceptable. But yeah, as you've said a couple times, it's an Amazon show.
Yeah.
People are dumb.
So, yeah, it's one of those, like, extreme Christian boycott things, like back when people wouldn't let their kids read Harry Potter because it's got witchcraft in it. Like, this is like people just getting upset about dumb stuff.
Yeah, it feels like people I've talked to, they've been like fine with like the Harry Potter. I guess it's stories and media like this become more normalized. People kind of care less and less. But this is like the newest version of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
it's definitely like a certain subset of Christians. It's not like...
Yeah, definitely. It's not a... You don't go into churches and like there's just a pile in the middle of the aisle where they throw in Harry Potter books or anything.
But I love that they aimed their whole petition boycott thing straight at Netflix.
Because it's not only like easily offended Christians, it's easily offended like boomers that don't get how things work.
Oh, boomers!
All boomers. Who don't get how things work and think Netflix is this omnipotent god power that controls all of media on the internet.
I love that. So The Guardian tweeted this article saying thousands petition Netflix to cancel Amazon Prime's Good Omens.
Right.
And Netflix UK retweeted, "Okay, we promise not to make any more."
And then Amazon Prime Video US tweeted, at Netflix, so sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah, and then I think they later tweeted, we'll cancel Stranger Things if you cancel Good Omens.
It's quite nice when you see tech companies have a nice little back and forth. Whoever was in charge of PA.
Whoever's running their social accounts is doing good. But
what? Okay, maybe it's what if it's like the same person?
This like Joss Whedon Avengers Justice League sort of situation. It's like, let's just get the same person. And they do a good job.
Yeah. This kind of feels like how there was a joke on the internet that Batman dies in Endgame, but there were loads of like screenshots of like text messages where people were getting really angry. over
Oh,
this like obviously fake spoiler. This is kind
wow.
of like the same thing where someone probably made like a fake. Someone obviously had made a petition, and then a bunch of just dumb, ignorant people who didn't understand what the thing was. They just like took what was said on change.org at face value, and
Yeah.
ran with it.
I mean, I think the person who made it originally, I don't think they made it as a joke. I think they were serious. So.
Well, yeah, and that's what I meant. Like, is it like this was a serious thing, and then people who didn't really get how newfangled things work ran with it,
Yeah. But
and then
the Batman dies in Endgame thing is the thing that gets me more about that than just people being dumb and not knowing that Batman is DC.
yeah,
I think the thing
that's my goat.
that upsets me more is I don't understand why so many people saw Endgame without having seen Marvel movies prior to that.
Yeah,
Or at very least having seen Infinity War, which was like
I'm the complete reverse. I've seen all of the Marvel movies, but Endgame and Infinity War,
yeah.
or Captain Marvel.
Yeah, but if you go to watch them at some point, presumably you watch them in order and you understand what's
I
happening.
will watch them with prior context of like since Iron Man 1.
Yeah. But I keep hearing about people who like saw Endgame or like have opinions about Endgame, but they hadn't seen any Marvel movies prior to it.
I can imagine a review where it's like, man, this movie really like assumes that you know a lot of stuff about the universe. It's weird for like the first movie in this series.
Just like, who is gonna go, like, who is preparing to go watch Endgame and doesn't know that Batman's not in that universe? Like, even if you don't know that he's not a Marvel character and that he's a DC character,
I guess that just shows
at the very
how
least, you should know he wasn't in the previous movie, unless you're just going to see it out of order, which doesn't make any sense.
It just shows you how, I guess, like normie, I guess the best way to put it, Marvel has become, where it used to be a thing a few nerds liked, and then when the movies came out, they got excited because they're nerds.
Yeah.
But now, because the movie, it's gotten bigger and has more like slightly more like famous actors, more and more people have just watched the ones that have all the actors in, such as Infinity War and Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
dumb.
Yeah, I have a hard time understanding like the casual moviegoer. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess I get it. Like, sometimes I've definitely ended up seeing movies with friends that are just like not anything I'm too interested in, but just like it's fun to go see things with people. But
yeah.
at the same time, like, I don't know. I don't get I don't really get people just watching Marvel movies for like, oh, it's just like fun action time. It's like, who are all these characters? I don't know. I didn't see any of the previous movies. Yeah.
We're just gonna keep on keeping on.
I was like, if that's what you wanted, I feel like there's other action movies. Like, go see like John Wick or something. Like,
You don't want to watch John Wick. There's just because Keanu Reeves.
like I don't know. It just feels like there's other choices, or like Transformers. Like, go see Transformers.
Oh yeah. Those don't need any prior context. I mean, I guess to understand the character, but
I mean, yeah, I suppose those two are actually bad examples because they're also series
like
yeah. But
and John Wick does have like a. I mean, I haven't seen them, but I assume, I'm guessing that there's some kind of like overarching story.
yeah,
I know Transformers, it feels like you can watch them in any order, because all that stays the same is the main character, and even his storyline is quite like patchy and inconsistent.
yeah.
Just so you can watch, because it's the effects for this Transformers movie is quite good.
It just
use practical
It's
But yeah,
it's
anyhow.
just funny to me that like the reason that Endgame is like the biggest movie of this decade or whatever is like
Yeah, it's
because they
the
spent
top grossing film.
a decade building it up with previous movies. Like that's the only reason it's so iconic and like that
Yeah.
so many people were interested in it, and yet
Yeah,
like
it's somehow like, yeah, it's made the most money, but you would think like logically like the first Iron Man would make the most money, and then the rest of the movies would be a filtering process. But no, because of quite famous actors being in it.
well, no, I mean you would never expect the first one to make the most because it's
Well, yeah, but like at least like the ones like I guess like the Guardians of the Galaxies to be, or like okay, even like probably Infinity War I would expect to be the top grossing actually, and Endgame to be just behind it, because then at least Infinity War
yeah.
it's that I think that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it depends.
Yeah.
Like, in my situation, like, I didn't get to see Infinity War in theaters. I saw it
Right.
on, like, DVD later and then was
Yeah.
ready to see Endgame in theaters.
Right.
But, yeah, I get what you're saying. It's like, you would think that basically anyone who was ready for this big finale sort of extravaganza would go see Infinity War in theaters, and then
Yeah.
people who like didn't like it wouldn't go see Endgame, but nobody was gonna go see Endgame that didn't
Yeah.
already see. So it's like it would be less than or equal to.
Yeah. Because even if because Infinity War it would, well, I'm assuming things, 'cause I haven't seen it that either of them yet, but I'm guessing like it feels like it would probably make a bit more sense because like Endgame came out, but then still the movies they were still trying to introduce the characters, so they were still quite new, so they didn't have. But like by Endgame, it's probably assumed that you knew what's happening, everyone's backstory and everything.
Yeah,
But
I don't
it's
know.
weird.
I think Infinity War they assumed you knew everyone's backstory as well,
Yeah.
because there was like
well,
10
yeah,
years
this
of
has been
movies
hinted
that introduced
since-
all the characters. But
yeah, Thanos was first shown in like Avengers Assemble right at the end.
But yeah,
Yeah.
no, I don't know. It's weird. People
It's a weird.
don't make sense sometimes.
Yeah.
But it just feels ironic to me that like obviously like they're well made and there's a lot of good actors in it and everything else.
Of course, yeah.
But the big thing that makes it unique, that sets it apart from like any other like action superhero type movie, is the fact that it's been this cinematic universe.
Yeah.
It's sort of like established
the
the
first
idea of
real-
having a big blockbuster cinematic universe. And
yeah. Instead of pumping out movies every other year.
yeah, and the whole thing about that makes it different from, you know, all like the 80s 90s Batman movies is that like there's stuff that happens in other movies that all are connected because it's all in the same universe. It's like the whole idea of that makes this unique is that you have to see in multiple movies in order to get the complete picture.
Like, I guess, like in the comic books as well.
Well,
'Cause, yeah.
yeah, I mean that. I guess if you want the complete picture, like there's always more you can dig into. But
Well, yeah. Actually, the story from Infinity War in the comics is slightly weirder. Like, it's quite different from the movie, but I guess
like compare it to like
But
James Bond, like that's a big movie
oh yeah.
franchise. But every individual Bond movie is its own compact story. There's not really
Yeah.
like a big overarching thing. With Marvel, it was like
the James Bond changes every decade.
yeah. With Marvel, it was like we're gonna make like 20 movies, and it's all gonna be connected to this one big overarching thing. And there's a bunch of people who are
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that's really cool," and then just watch the last one. It's like, what? That the whole reason that you said that was cool was because you had to. That I don't. the whole, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, the whole thing is that
Right, yeah.
they're connected. If you just watch one, it's not any different than watching one James Bond movie. You know?
I can just imagine, like, in the Marvel, like, head offices, like, so we can maximize profits by, if we make every movie rely on the context of previous movies, that means we'll make more money because everyone is watching all of our old stuff.
Yeah. I mean...
So when we eventually get to this, like, well, I guess actually they're planning on making even more movies, which
right.
makes sense. They are
right, of course.
Even though they have lost a few actors, I understand. But like it, they put like probably like the billions of dollars into this like franchise for then everyone just to dump all their money on the most important one so far.
Right, and it's
like from a business standpoint, it's also quite confusing.
Well, I think from a business standpoint, I think what you said is pretty much right, where it's like, oh, everyone's gonna go buy like a box set of the original Iron Mans, even though it came out like 10 years ago, because they want to have the complete like thing and be able to binge all the way through it or whatever, you know? Like, people are gonna continue to watch our old stuff because it's connected to our new stuff.
Yeah.
But I think that in some sense is a gamble, because then there's the fear that no one's going to watch the new stuff if they haven't seen the old stuff, and we're eventually going to like, no one's going to be caught up, so that no one's going to go see it in theaters or whatever.
But I think what's kept this like fire burning, which has been like the gasoline, has been, I guess, like hype culture in a way.
Yeah.
'Cause it's kept like the fires burning, everyone like, oh my gosh, it's but nah, and yeah,
right, and that's what I guess the whole experiment of this thing is, that like, will people not see a thing because they haven't seen the previous things, or can you hype something to the point where people don't care if they've seen the previous things? They just want to be included in like the current conversation on social media.
Yeah, I think that's like they've like Disney, like Disney Marvel, they rolled some like dice, and then they kind of lucked out because
it turns out people are stupid.
Yeah, and I guess with a big enough marketing budget, yeah. Because I think how it kind of happened, I think a good way of, like, because at school, it would be me and my other friends who were also quite, like, comic book nerdy type people.
Mm-hmm.
But then, as soon as, like, the build-up to Infinite, like, as soon as Spider-Man Homecoming came out, which had Tom Holland in, I remembered all of, like, the girls started watching Marvel movies because Tom Holland. And then from there they watched Homecoming, and then they ended up watching Infinity War because Tom Holland, and then
this is really funny. I think because of our age difference, we have very different perspectives on the new Spider-Man.
Actually, it's on Netflix now, so I'm heck it, I'll watch it I'll watch it, because
right, you haven't actually seen the movie.
No, I think the latest Marvel movie I've seen was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Mm-hmm.
Which is but anyway, yeah.
Well, I wasn't gonna spoil anything about the movie specifically anyway. But,
well, yeah, of course.
But I have a friend who refers to the Tom Holland Spider-Man as Baby Spider-Man.
Because he sounds like a 4-year-old.
Because
he's British, and he's like putting on like Mr. Stark.
Yeah, he's so much younger, and then he also like he does play the character like
at like age 17.
Yeah, as even younger than he actually is.
Yeah, that's why I kind of like the
But it
the
never even
Sam
occurred to
Raimi.
me that that a bunch of teenage girls would be watching it for him being like closer to their age. I don't know. Because my perspective on it is that like there's like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans that are like the classic like Spider-Man, and then there's like
Yeah.
and then there's the
yeah.
Garfield ones we don't talk about, and then
Garfield.
there's
Yeah.
Holland is baby Spider-Man, where it's like imagine Spider-Man but he's like a little kid.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I like in this
he's
one
super
there
cute.
isn't as much, from what I've seen. Like, it's not the newer. Like, I think I've noticed this across like newer titles, as superhero titles as well. Is that if it's like a rinse and repeat story like Batman or Spider-Man, they kind of skip on the whole backstory thing because it's like everyone knows Spider-Man and Batman and Superman. We don't need to. We just need to know how they're doing in this adaptation.
Yeah. Oh, I just saw Into the Spider-Verse recently.
Ooh, that's another way to see.
It's on Netflix now.
Ooh, ooh, okay.
At least in the US. I assume it's on there in the UK as well.
Yeah, no. Actually, I don't know. It normally sends me notifications when new stuff is added that the Netflix algorithm thinks I like. But if I watch Spider-Man, I wonder if it will get recommended to me. If I start watching all the Spider-Mans.
Yeah. Yeah. The stylized like comic book animation in that for like about the first 10 minutes, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. But it definitely won me over. Like it just looks really cool. Like, and like the plot's not bad, and like the characters and stuff aren't bad. But like more than anything, I think it's just a really pretty movie.
Yeah. And I also, like the cartoony, like cell shade, aesthetic.
Yeah.
That's quite. Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah, and I like that they went with the cartoon thing sort of in like every aspect of it as well. In that like,
I think actually,
like a lot of stuff tries to take things as like too hyper realistic.
Yeah, but that's
and like the movie felt like it was more willing to like make stuff more like cartoony. Like a good example is like when Spider-Man like squints, like his mask kind of changes shape.
Yeah.
Like they do that in Deadpool as well, because it's like that's because Deadpool takes everything much less serious.
Yeah.
But in like a lot of like in like the live action Spider-Man movies and stuff, like that doesn't happen really, because it's like it's like a physical
they also
mask.
do that in the games. Yeah. So they also do it in the games, which are hyper realistic, because they do a thing where it's like, oh hey, your new mask can augment your face, and it's like, oh wow.
Yeah, they try and explain it because it's like they want it to look cartoony, but
because it's the character of Peter Parker is and his persona of Spider-Man is really well like emoted. But there is like his eyes, which is the only thing you can see.
Right. But it's like they're just taking it too seriously when they have to feel like like when they feel like they have to explain that, like it's like it's a mechanical suit thing. It's like, no, it's just a mask, but you're just gonna emote them because it's a comic and it's a cartoon. And it's like you don't have to explain everything that happens in a cartoon world. Especially when you're talking about like aesthetic, like expressive stuff.
Yeah, like in the game. Actually, they don't really explain it, like, but they just explain it as fancy high tech stuff because it's technically around like Stark time. But as well as that, you find, because you can collect different Spider-Man skins. One of them is like the homemade suit, which is like the hoodie and the goggles. But what I quite like is, like, unexplainably, the goggles still can do, like, eye movements and stuff, and it's really quite interesting how that works as well.
Yeah. Yeah, see, like, that's a good example where it's, like, you're not letting, like, reality try and hold you back from, like if it was a live-action movie, I understand, like, it would be a little wacky to have, unless your character's, like, Deadpool or someone. It would be a little wacky to have like morphing plastic goggles that just change with your expression. But it's like if you're already in a video game or in like an animated movie or something, there's a surprising amount of wiggle room where it's like you can be more expressive and not break the like reality of, I don't know. Like I think people worry about that more than they should. And I will like pick on it a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, but how does that work? I want there to be an explanation I want the physics to make sense in this world and stuff.
Yeah.
But also I think that like it's unnecessary. I think it gets in the way sometimes.
I think we discussed in MBBC where it's like sci-fi I don't know, sci-fi movies are good until they try to explain things
too much,
yeah, but or like what's quite nice is like there is real science up to a point until it's like this super rare infinite power stone that can give us infinite power or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or
like there's
something that's
there's like one
that is
like miracle
possible,
exception.
Yeah, or something that is like possible in our universe, but we would need like infinite money and resources to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know, make a Dyson sphere or something. But
yeah. But I'm saying more like stuff that is clearly not possible or clearly doesn't make any sense. But it also But it also is like more expressive and is like okay to do.
Yeah, I think actually. So you knew that meme that was quite. It's still quite relevant, but was really relevant a while ago, which was the guy in a Spider-Man costume giving a presentation.
Yeah. That meme
on the whiteboard. Yeah, on the whiteboard behind him. I think. What did? Oh yeah, it said technically every cosplay is true now because of Into the Spider-Verse. So, yeah, every OC is now correct. Which is quite a nice little thing.
I mean, yeah.
It's quite nice. Yeah, weird when you think about it. But, yeah. So, Scar, you've been on Twitter at a point in time.
Yeah.
Well, see, I saw something very interesting in my feed. If I can pull it up quickly. If I can't, and I'll leave it. So, O.J. Simpson.
Okay.
The O.J. Simpson. Has started a Twitter page.
Oh, he didn't already have one?
No, because kind of. But he's making, some videos about, like some small clips where he's been talking about how, like I don't know. Oh yeah, he's just been like saying, "Oh hey, I've got a Twitter account now, and you can like ask me questions and so on." What I thought was quite funny is Dolan Dark put it's like the top comment, which is, "Could I get your opinion on how you got away with murdering your wife?"
Did he reply?
He just blocked him. So yeah, everyone's quite confused because OJ has kind of been quiet since the whole case. It's like 2 decades old.
Yeah.
But now he's like suddenly come back and he seems to be living quite like the high life in like a big stately home, and like playing golf and being in golf carts and
right
stuff.
Yeah, I mean he's
everyone's
been living kind of the high life this whole time. He's just I get what you're saying, like he's kind of trying to stay quiet after the whole thing, and now is like trying to be more of a public figure. But I mean, he wrote a book about it, right? Like,
I think so. I'm not sure.
Well, I don't know that he wrote it, but you know.
But there is JonTron made a funny video about it. Well, not about like it was to do with OJ. It just happened to be around. Yeah, but yeah, it's been kind of weird. that he's suddenly appeared back into the public eye, kind of just abruptly.
Right.
And I was like, hang on, that's not. That's.
You were like, is this legal?
Yeah.
Is this
Like, hang
allowed?
on, what? Yeah. But yeah, he does. By the looks of it, doesn't seem that he. It's much to do with his past. It's kind of just like I guess it's an attempt of getting back into the public eye.
Yeah. Yeah, I think anyone who's like a public figure can pretty easily make a Twitter account and get a bunch of followers, and then...
Yeah. He hasn't been verified yet, but he has, how many followers? 828,000 followers, and this thing...
Yeah.
This page has been around...
Just...
like this month.
Yeah, just purely from his like name recognition, which is like...
Yeah.
Why not use that for something?
I wonder if people have been like, huh, yeah, I think I know that name.
Mm-hmm.
Probably nothing. But yeah.
Where do I know
just
that name from? I don't know.
Something to do with gloves.
He's a glove manufacturer. Is that right?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, he tried on gloves one time, and they looked pretty good on him. So
yeah, he's a hand model. That was it.
Yeah. He was a hand model that played football in his spare time.
Right.
But yeah, I just thought this has been like quite. Yeah, this was quite weird to find on my feed. Of like someone trying to like not casually come back into the public eye, even though everyone is convinced that they've done a crime. But yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I could see that being a little unsettling if like, yeah, I don't know, but I mean, I don't think he was charged with anything really, so there's what can you do?
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you what you can do is not follow his Twitter account. Is what you can do.
Oh yeah.
But 100 and whatever thousand people.
828,000.
Yeah. 800,000?
800,000, yeah.
God.
That's
okay.
Almost 1 million in a month.
He's not even verified.
But
what if it wasn't him?
What
if it was all just a con?
Yeah. It's just a really good impersonator who looks like him. Yeah. But
yeah, or just somehow got access to some pictures.
His bio, which is quite funny, which is, if you don't see it here, I didn't say it.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's a good way of clearing everything you've done in the past up.
Yeah. It's a fresh start. Clean slate.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see how this goes, because he seems to already have a large following, and he seems to be talking about politics.
Mm-hmm.
And everything people ask football players about, because American football players about, because
yeah,
they're.
I wonder if he'll get sponsored deals. Like if he's got enough followers for it.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if he'll get glove sponsor deals.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is I question like what brand is gonna be okay with signing off on.
Yeah.
Maybe some like internet company or something that's just like thinks they can get more.
Like any publicity is good publicity, so they'd be willing to do like a weird thing with him to try get.
But I could see that. I could see that being in the news, like, you know, if someone started like if he had sponsored tweets, that would be kind of awkward.
Mint Mobile, our inbox is still open.
Yeah, Mint Mobile. Don't sponsor OJ Simpson. Sponsor us.
Yeah.
Speaking of people trying new services.
Yeah.
So finally broke down and started using Spotify more regularly.
Oh yeah.
Do you use Spotify?
Yes.
It seems like everybody does these days.
Yeah.
Not a fan. I've kind of avoided it for a long time because I enjoy having my my own like music library, which I've just added to over the years. And, you know, rather than streaming music and getting a bunch of advertisements.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, obviously there's premium, but like that I'm paying monthly for something that if I had all the MP3s and stuff already on my iTunes, like I wouldn't need to pay anything for it, you know?
Right.
But I mean, I guess, I don't know. Services are nice, especially for trying out new music that, you know, you don't already have. So it's like, oh, I might like this, I might not. Let me just try it. And, you know.
Yeah.
So I guess it's good for that.
I think, I think I have Spotify Premium, mainly because of a family thing, but also because I'm not in like I guess the Apple ecosystem. Because as you said, you've already got them like the songs you listen to on iTunes, and you've like paid for them and such.
Well, I haven't actually bought a lot of songs on iTunes, but you can use media files and just use iTunes as a player. So like actually a lot of my music comes from back in the day. My older brother actually had like a decent CD collection.
Yeah, right.
And so you can like pull music off of CDs, and then you just have that music like in a folder, and then you can open it with iTunes or like whatever media player you have, you know.
Yeah, my dad's done the same thing with all of our old CDs on I think on Google's media player.
Yeah.
So we just have a folder on the cloud that's just filled with like hundreds of songs.
Right, but that's the thing is like once
like Beatles albums and stuff.
Once you have a music library like that, it's like you can put it on your phone or on your computer or whatever, and you know, then you have it. And it does take up storage space as opposed to like a lot of cloud, like Apple Music, Spotify, whatever. Like, I get that as an advantage, is like you don't want to use your storage to hold a bunch of music, but I don't know.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I also feel like the selection is spotty. It's like obviously there's stuff on there that I don't have, and it's like nice to listen to it and try it out, but there's some stuff that I do have, like their selection of Aha on Spotify is just appalling. It's like
it's like 3 songs or
it's like they have 5 different copies of Take On Me, and then like maybe like 2 or 3 other songs, and that's it. It's just like, hey, it's a whole band. They got other songs. But that's, I guess, one-hit wonders for you. But you know, all that being said, it is a good platform for sharing playlists. Probably one of the easiest ways to do that these days. Yeah. So, here I am. This has been my Spotify rave review.
I think Amazon's been trying, like Amazon always does, because $1 trillion company. They've been around for a while, but they started a music. There's Amazon Music now.
Right. Yeah, I've used that one a little bit because I already have Prime. So
same here.
So the Prime Music or whatever doesn't.
Music.
I don't think it gives you access to like as much as if you paid for it separately, but it gives you access to quite a bit.
Yeah, of course.
So that's always a good way to try out a new artist.
Yeah, I think I got a discount on something before because Amazon was trying to push their music software. Like, if you listen to a whole song, and you'll get like a 5% discount.
The thing is that
cool.
The Amazon Music, of course, it's biased because I am already paying for Prime versus Spotify, which is like I'm not paying for, but the Amazon one doesn't have advertisements, whereas Spotify for me has just an insane amount of advertising on it.
Well, yeah, because you're
I'm
not paying.
a free pleb.
Yeah, I mean, I knew people. I didn't know how advertising. I just thought you can organize your you can choose what songs to play in your playlists for free Spotify and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can do that. You can do that with the desktop app. Anyway, even with the free.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the mobile, it's annoying because they restrict it even more. Where it's like on the mobile app, you can only shuffle songs. You can't.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, on mobile you can only shuffle songs, but you can't.
One thing I definitely will give Spotify credit for is, as I think it's been discussed previously, I have the MacBook Pro, specifically the model with the touch bar, where it's like the function keys are dynamic and they will like change based on what you're doing, which is cool. It's like you hit the volume and you can do a little slider. You can move it up and down or brightness or whatever. But Apple has like API for this touch bar that it seems like no one really takes advantage of other than Apple.
Yeah, well,
it's like if you use like an Apple program like Pages or Numbers or Safari or something, it's got like all this stuff that you can do. You can like swipe through your YouTube video on Safari on the little touch bar, like to skip to a certain spot on it or something. But most apps don't really use it. But the Spotify Mac app, actually, I was surprised to see has its own like little dedicated thing on that bar where you can like pause it or skip or turn shuffle on and off or adjust the in-app volume. And it's like, gotta give it some credit for that because I feel like most apps just don't bother, you know?
Yeah, I think it's just many people that really care about the touch bar, but
yeah, because it's like like you're lucky if, well, I guess enough people use Mac OS at this point to where it's like it's worth it to make a Mac compatible version of your app. But yeah, like out of the small percentage that use Mac OS, there's even a smaller percentage that have the touch bar thing. So it's like it's definitely like a little gimmick
another
feature.
way of putting it is to put it like, and I don't mean it like in a bad way, but I guess it's trying to make it like obsolete proof, because it feels like if I was like a software company and I was making a software, and then suddenly Apple comes out with this thing where it's like come out saying, oh, we have this new thing, I don't think I would jump on it right away just in case the next model doesn't have it, and I don't want to put all that extra effort into programming something for something that would affect like such a small percentage of my users that might be just completely irrelevant in the next like 2 years. Yeah,
like plus if you're looking at like the most valuable way to spend your time as a company and like the market that is actually going to be impacted by this, it's like the majority of your users probably use Windows, and then like out of the minority that use Mac, it's like then the majority of those people don't have the specific model of MacBook that has the touch bar, and so it's like for sure. Yeah, it's definitely like a small portion of their market that would even notice that this was a thing, but I appreciated it.
Yeah,
so
I think that's quite nice. I think, do you say it was for Amazon?
No, for Spotify.
Oh yeah, well that's quite a big money corporation. So I think they have the time and power to do. I guess to spend on adding small features that. But yeah,
I don't know. It won As much as I gripe about it, it won some small points for that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, the ads are annoying. But I guess I appreciate that if I was to pay for the service, then there wouldn't be ads.
But then you don't need to, so.
But yeah, then on the other hand, it's like if I continue to just use my music library, then I don't need to pay for it, and I don't need to have ads. But
best of both worlds.
Yeah. But I mean, on the other hand, the worst of both worlds, there's Hulu, which I don't think you have Hulu in the UK, do you? It's not just a US
really,
thing.
No. I don't know. Not many as people. Yeah, no, I don't think Hulu's a. Oh yeah.
I'm not sure, but
I think it's definitely more of an American thing actually. But
I've never had a Hulu account personally, but I borrowed a friend's account one time, and it's kind of appalling how many advertisements they will play on a paid Hulu service.
yeah,
Like, could you imagine watching something on Netflix and getting like just an advertisement every 5 minutes or something? Like it's pretty gross.
That is, yeah.
So I'm at least relieved to hear that like Spotify Premium is like very like a nice service, you know, for the
it's not like a.
It's not gonna like
heck.
Yeah, it's not that absolute trash.
Yeah. Oh boy. So Scar, you've done a sport before at least once, correct?
I've done a sport before. Do you mean officially or unofficially?
Depends what you mean by officially or unofficially.
Like, are you asking if I have played sports, or are you asking if I've been on a sports team?
I guess either.
Yes to both, but the only team I've ever been on was like when I was like 5 or something.
Cool. Yeah. So
I don't have too much experience with that, but I have participated in physical activities, if that was
right.
the question. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So my schools around the country do this thing where we will do like sports day, which is just a bunch of mainly just athletics, which is jumps, runs, and throws. And it's kind of like this big social pressure that's kind of placed in all the kids to compete. I mean, definitely, the older you get, less and less people care, and at this point, everyone's pretty apathetic about it. But this year, yeah, like, when I was talking to my friends, and I would bring up that, like, the general aura of just complete apathy was quite interesting, and it's just how sports, like, when you're quite young, it takes up such a massive part of your social structure, and then by, I guess, your teens, you don't exactly care anymore.
Yeah, you're just like talking to your friends and like, oh, I guess if we have to play kickball, we have to play kickball because that's what they're telling us to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and the lads do enjoy a bit of footy, but I think it's just athletics. There's no real goal or teamwork. It's just running around a ovular track for between 9.58 seconds and whatever the longest period of time anyone's ever done a marathon. But yeah, I think we mentioned sports before, but yeah, it's weird, like the social implications of sports. It's quite a interesting topic to look into, because it's kind of like this thing we've kept as hunter-gatherers of this like idea of like possession and hunting, and
I don't know. I don't know how
competing.
much hunting it is. It's like our natural like competitive sort of nature.
Nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's not any different from games or video games, really. It's just
Yeah.
that it is a type of game which requires you to be physically active, as opposed to just like holding a piece of plastic and like slightly twitching your fingers.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just been interesting, like just seeing like over the years how people kind of just like care less and less about sport until like I think I know loads of people who are like, they're not like the sporty type, but like they watch football because it's just a thing they do.
Yeah.
Because yeah, sure. I guess it depends where you're brought up and who you talk to, but it feels like, I guess, soccer, football, association football is a bad example because it's quite a big part of the like English culture. But I more meaning like athletics, which is like the, I guess, the runt of the litter that no one really cares about because it's not like so much of a team element. And
in what?
In like athletics, like running, like sprints.
Like track and field.
Yeah, track and field. Yeah.
Also, you said sports day earlier. I think in America we would call that field day, if I'm getting the translation correct. But
yeah, it would be a day where we would. It's a day where we all go. Run around. There would be like assigned events set up by the school when you compete in your team for houses.
Yeah, there's probably like a tug of war or something and some other stuff.
Oh no, there wouldn't be tug of war. There would be like I guess like a mini Olympics. There'd be like 100-meter sprints, relay, 1500 meters, 800 meters, high jump, long jump, triple jump.
Okay.
Jump.
Yeah, I feel like I would get very competitive about that, but I'm a fairly competitive person.
Yeah, but it's been it's weird because when I was younger, it used to be this massive like burden on me to do sports day because I was like, oh no, if I'm not faster than Timmy Tom, then everyone's gonna bully me for the next year. And then now everyone's like, oh yeah, I guess it's this thing we have to do.
Yeah.
I know people who try hard in it, and those people are just they act really annoying about it. Like,
try hard.
I mean, me and a group of friends were talking, and we were saying that like we weren't gonna like not try hard, but we weren't gonna take it that seriously and kind of mess around a bit.
Yeah, you're gonna try and have more fun with it.
Yeah, but then like the friend took it seriously. Like, no, why would you do that? It's such a waste of time. It's like, well, the thing in the first place is a waste of time. Or sometimes we would be made to do distance races, and what will happen is sometimes I've done this one year. I don't normally do it because I kind of just wanna, because I don't know when I'm actually when we're doing lessons for like training for the thing. That's when I'll actually try.
Yeah.
Because that's when I don't have an audience and probably when I'll perform best. But yeah, so one time I ran around the track and I just stuck with this one guy and we kind of talked. And I think actually everyone was made to do it again because loads of people did that because no one really cared. But I remember the same guy who was like, no, there's no friends in athletics, you just gotta run. And I was like, man, you're gonna be fun at parties when you're older. And yeah, it's just like, man, you're still like you're still in that like that 9-year-old, nay 7-year-old mindset of like, ooh, if I don't win the race against little Timmy, then my that's whoopsie doos. I'm cancelled.
Look, you know what? I'll hang out with that kid when he's older and play some
Smash.
No, not Smash. God, no. Some tabletop games or something. You know.
Yeah. Oh, actually,
I feel like I'm always having a hard
quite
time
like
getting
tabletop.
people to commit to them and like taking them seriously. Like, it's like no,
Oh,
you
yeah,
can't just quit
I
Catan
thought-
halfway through because that's gonna ruin the game.
I've played board games with them before. They seem to be pretty. They'll still take them seriously. But like, I think I think changes it is that they do like they'll do like hour training set, like no, way more than, like they'll do like proper like intensity training lessons, like extracurricular, just like athletics. So I guess it makes sense why they're taking it a bit more seriously, because they actually they train lots for it.
Yeah.
But also, who are you playing board games with who are like, you know, we are playing Ticket to Ride, but what if I just kind of just took all my trains off the board and kind of just left it, and you guys just had to, you know, you could carry on.
Like
I've
had
backwards
people. I've had nights where friends get tired and they don't want to finish the game, or somebody's like, "Oh, I gotta go home because I got work in the morning," and it's like, okay, then why did we start this game if you're gonna try and leave halfway through? Because it's like, doesn't, you know, it's like a risk board. Like you can't just suddenly Europe is like open
free
season.
real estate.
Like
it's free real estate. Or like or like Catan, instantly loads of resources open up.
Yeah.
When I do play board games, like if there is a time limit, like we'll just adjust the rules slightly so it'll go quicker. So like a game where you would normally draw 2 cards, we say draw 3 or something like that.
Yeah, like I do understand, you know,
but like
specific
just
circumstances, but
that's a big heck.
Yeah, or people who like don't want to follow the rules or like try and like cheat or something. It's just like, no, you need to respect the game here, so I can beat you fairly in this friendly competition. Crush you into
beat you unfairly
into the dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, but it is annoying. Like you mentioned Smash Bros. Like it is a little annoying sometimes when people take things too seriously, and it's like,
what, Fox only, no items.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, we're gonna play Final Destination, no items, like, and they've got like all kinds of combos that they've like studied forever, and I'm like, no, let me just play Captain Falcon, and let me throw a baseball bat at you, and then like Falcon punch you to oblivion. Like,
let me just be Kirby and just fly around to the top of the map for a good while.
Yeah.
Or Meta Knight and
Donkey Kong and just do the down B smash for like an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a balance to all things.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, I feel you. Like people tend to, as they get older, like take those sort of like competitive athletic stuff a lot less seriously, especially when it's like related to school. I think people just get like too cool for it. They're just like, oh, you're actually trying? That's lame. I'm gonna like just walk around the track.
Yeah.
Talk to my friends. Which is like, fair enough. But also, I don't know. I see both sides to it.
I mean, actually, what I do find annoying when people like that are put on the long races, it's like, well, yeah, here's the thing. The sports team for each house will go around and ask you what you want to do. But sometimes, like, you'll say, oh, I'll do this, this, and this, and the person's like, oh, yeah, that works, because I can do this, this, and this. And you come to an agreement, and then it actually comes to the day, and the guy's like, oh, yeah, by the way, you're actually doing, like, 1500, shot put, and 800, and it's like, oh wow, those events that I'm definitely very much never done before. Great. Well, I've done 800 and shot put, but it's like, why? I swear we came to an agreement.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, but Timmy can't do that race because he has the thing. And you're like, oh yeah, well, Timmy should have not have got unlucky with his genes.
Who is this Timmy character anyway?
Yeah,
let's get to the bottom of this. What has Timmy done to wrong you?
Where do I start?
No. What I'm getting from this is that it sounds like Sports Day is a lot more heavily planned.
I think
I think any like field day that I've had.
Right.
From my memory, field day consisted of showing up to school and going outside, and they were like, you're going to do this thing, and then you're going to move on to the next station where you do this thing, and then...
Oh, okay, I've done those before, like, those were we did, like, charity events and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've done, like, oh yeah, you gotta do tug of war, and then you gotta do, like, skipping rope stuff, and then you gotta do hacky sack toss, and then you gotta do...
Yeah.
beanbag toss, and then you gotta
and
do penalty shootout.
I remember having, like, one of those every year. And
yeah,
and I think what you're saying is true, that like the older you get, the less people care about them.
Yeah, because like how you compare to others is less of your identity.
For most people, yeah.
At that age, unless you're
because you're more concerned with like social dynamics and stuff than you are with
or
like,
social dynamics have changed. Of like, instead of Johnny stole Timmy's pencil, it's more Timmy held hands with Jessica, even though Timmy knew you like Jessica.
Or like maybe Timmy can do twice as many push-ups as me, but I'm just more likable, so I have more friends than Timmy anyways, or something like that, you know?
Yeah, that's what I tell myself.
These are the lies I tell myself every day.
God damn it, Timmy. You're making us all look bad.
We all know Timmy has more friends than both of us combined. Also, watch your goddamn mouth on this podcast.
It slipped from the other edit. So, I've talked a lot about secondary education and examinations and so on.
Secondary education.
Mm-hmm.
You British people and your primary education. I don't know. Sorry, secondary education to me says like something you like would take after you're 18.
Oh, like
college.
Yeah.
Like,
well, don't get me on start on tertiary, no, or quaternary, or anyway. So
go on.
What?
Secondary to you means like post elementary school, right?
High school.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a combination of high school and middle school, but so the younger ones of like year 7, 8, 6, 7th grade, they have their exams, and it's so weird because when I was that age, I did not stress about my end of years that much. Like I barely like revised for them because I knew that in the long run they weren't going to affect what really matters, which is the exams I will do in like year 9, 10, 11.
Yeah.
But it's so weird people stressing out thinking that this is like going to be a turning point in their life. And either seeing people who don't care at all or people who care lots, and there doesn't seem to be any middle ground.
Yeah.
But I feels like that's just a thing that happens with like 11 to 12-year-olds. Like I guess it's just the assumption that everything that's happening now is more important than anything else has ever happened. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's the whole culture of it is designed to make you feel like it's the most important thing ever, so that you take it seriously.
Well, yeah, of course, but I mean, I don't know.
And I mean, from what I hear in some countries, it definitely can be a big deal.
Well, yeah.
Like, I mean, I know we've talked to people in India and Korea and stuff, and it's like, it sounds like if they really screw up their exams, it could like set their life on a very different path than otherwise. But I don't know how it is in the UK. I assume it's kind of similar to the US, where it's like,
well, yeah,
if you don't do that well in the grand scheme of things, like unless you're trying to go to like Harvard or something, it's like it's probably not gonna change that much.
Well, yeah. Well, these exams aren't even... They're not, like, official government-approved exams. They're, like, school-run exams that are just like, oh, hey, this is just to see if you're paying attention in class enough.
Mm.
And it's the way kids treat them like they're their, like, GCSEs or, like, something the like. And it's like, oh, you... That's, I feel bad for you in the future when, like...
So it's...
You have to revise across... Like, because there's people that always ask before, like, the exam period or, like, the few months of revision, they'll ask for sheets of what's going to be on the test.
Right.
And eventually on the, like, GCSE, they're not going to get that because that would be completely dumb stupid if they told you what was going to be on the exam. Like, you have to revise, like, literally everything you've ever done on that subject ever.
Yeah.
So, like...
You have to understand the subject. You don't have to, like, memorize, like, the 3 or 4 things they tell you is going to be on the test. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just wonder how those people are going to react when they're going to be told that they can't do that anymore. But yeah, it's just, again, like, I guess similar to the sports, the older you get, I guess somewhat weird, like, you just see how in the past, everything you've done up to now is kind of pointless. And only now it's kind of semi-important.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, yeah. It's a weird way of thinking about it.
I mean, it's really important, and you should, you should stick with it. You should do really well, Wobbles.
Mm-hmm.
I think my apathy just set in really hard at a certain point. And I just kind of let it go. But I was also never the kid that you're talking about, where it's like, I'm going to ask what's on the test. I wasn't even the kid to ask when the test was. I was the kid to just show up like a normal day and be like, oh, test. Sure, that's what we're doing today. And then just try my best. Just try my diddly darn hardest.
Oh boy, diddly darn.
Hope the test doesn't fun tussle me today.
Oh boy, being fun tussle in the do-what hole does not sound like a good way of... Yeah.
So, yeah. Speaking of fun tussling and stuff, I see you have written on the show notes here catchphrases.
Right. So, I've kind of realized that depending on what period of like time, I have natural, like, I guess, like pattern speeches that develop, and like they do come into like small phrases like fun tussle and the do what hole, or like quite a long standing one is oof, which has been switched out for yikes.
Okay, so not so much catchphrases as just like speech patterns.
Yeah. Okay. I guess they've kind of been like catchphrases where like it feels like I have a line I will say, like now whenever I say hello I'll say what's poppin' gamers or something the like.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like yeah. So it's a bit of like catchphrases or like speech patterns.
Yeah, I tend to think about these a lot when I'm like messaging people, I notice
Yeah.
I can notice them changing sometimes. Like if someone says something and then I sort of like imitate it, and then it's like I start saying it all the time.
Right. I mean, so this is a kind of like I'm gonna draw back the curtain slightly, but before there's this kind of weird joke me and Scott have had running for a while, where if we're inquiring if the other person is ready for recording or where they're at, we will just say "Rego?" ?
Right. I think that started. I think you started that.
Yeah, I think I did, and then you replied, "Rego, yego," and now we've been geggoing and eggoing words ever since.
Or reggie, or like
Reggie.
I think one time I just said Reggie, like the name.
Yeah, I thought you were talking like Reggie Fils-Aimé or something.
And you were like,
I was like,
that was I think the one time that we didn't understand each other was when I took it too far. I just said Reggie.
Yeah. I thought you were doing like my body is Reggie meme. Oh man. God rest his Nintendo soul. But yeah. That's another thing I've noticed about
It's also really easy to pick up on this sort of thing when editing a lot of audio, because especially audio of like people talking for long periods of time. Which I don't know who would do a weird thing like editing just lots of the same people talking over and over. But when you do that,
episode 11 are we on now?
What? I'm sorry.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, but when you do that, if you do it too much in a row, you start to really pick up on like, oh, you've said the same like 3-word phrase like 20 times. But it's just such a casual.
Sometimes I'll notice I'll have like a phrase of the week, and it's a phrase I have said statistically like more higher than I have on one week. For 1 week, I think it was. So, did I talk about the time I went to Wales and had a great grand time? A term I used a lot was terra firma, which is a phrase used to describe the satisfaction of finally being on land. And I used that several times. I think once after canoeing, where I finally got off the boat and was like terra firma when I stood up. I think then one time we went on a mountain walk, and once we finally got to the bottom where there wasn't a chance of death, I think I said it. Once we had done, I think, abseiling, as soon as I had touched the floor, I muttered it. And then on the bus ride home, as soon as I got out and back home, I think I said it again as like a kind of... But sometimes it's not like an intentional thing I try to do. Like, I think 1 week it was funny how that worked out, where I would... Probably just in, like, I guess it depends on my mindset for that week or day, where I'd be just thinking about weird stuff, and they're like, it's weird how that worked out. And that was a thing for a few days.
It's weird how that worked out.
Yeah. It's weird how that worked out.
I think so, I think that was in the last... I'm not sure, but I feel like that was in the last...
I've said that in the podcast before. Yeah. And it was during that week of things working out weirdly.
Yeah. It's weird how that works out.
Yeah, it is.
Like one that I think maybe a good example of this that hit sort of like kind of mainstream consciousness not too long ago would be like It Be Like That Sometimes.
Oh, it really do got to be like that.
Yeah, just like any variation on that, like it really do be like that. Like
yeah, it really do be like that.
It do.
It do.
Yeah, I don't know how that even started, but it's like someone said it and it was funny, and like everyone just started saying it all the time. It's sort of died down now, but I think that's the best recent example of.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get like localized ones as well, and like also. Like even just individual ones, but
yeah,
they're interesting to notice. And I've
Yeah,
definitely had like other people say things and then just like copy the way they say it because it's like, oh, that's I like that. I'm gonna start using that.
Right. Yeah.
And vice versa and stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's weird how that works out.
Yeah. It is. So what video games you been playing lately?
Games time.
Games time.
Lots of Minecraft, honestly. Like,
yeah. So much. Oh god, it's all creepers. Yeah.
I'm playing Minecraft right now. No, I'm not. That would be lagging my computer out. But
I mean, mine would be fine, but you wouldn't be able to hear anything over the keyboard clacking. But yeah, God, I've fallen in love with this game again, and it's the most joyful I felt building a house since I was 8. Oh God, I just love it. It's great, man. Especially playing it on a server with Yoomst, where we have established a MBP presence.
the MBP HQ, of course.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which is still under construction. I think we'll probably put some screenshots in the show notes. But it's been great playing Minecraft again, especially with a group of people that are, as another one of my catchphrases would say, very epic gamers.
Very epic, yes. Minecraft is it's best played multiplayer. Like the single player is,
I think so,
it's like it's a solid game, but
yeah.
And it's a fun like sandbox kind of experience, but I think the real like longevity of Minecraft comes from it being like a social platform in a sense.
Right.
You know? Like it's almost like it's its own little like social media sort of website, except it's actually just like Minecraft servers that you go and you have people to hang out with.
Yeah.
It's weird how it feels like
to hang out.
Yeah, it's like it feels like more like a physical space, like you're actually hanging out with them, even though it's clearly
and you're
not.
Building a snack project underground, or making a base in the mountains, or traveling new lands by boat and claiming a giant mushroom island as your new socialist nation, which you will co-lead it with your friend who hasn't actually been to the island in like a week. Small non-specific examples like that.
Very non-specific. I preferred our boating adventures personally, but that's because I was in them.
I mean, you can, I've planned a couple of our expeditive editions if you wanna.
You got more expeditions for us?
Yeah. Got a few planned.
Yeah, we could be boat boys again.
Boat boys.
But let's not bring that catchphrase back in.
But yeah, that's pickle Rit.
Let's leave that one out of the mix.
Where is my Szechuan sauce?
What was I gonna? Oh, yeah. I guess if we're talking about Minecraft, we can't really mention that server without bringing up the totem, the house totem.
House totem. So I'm gonna tell a story filled with tragedy, hilarity, and most importantly, what happens when a bunch of really
epic
bunch
gamers.
of really bored people decide to do when they have lots of spare resources. See, I first joined the Minecraft realm, and I decided to build my house slightly out of the way of the main town on a hill. And Scar comes on the server, and I'm like, "Hey, do you wanna? You can add an extension to my house." And then what Scar does is that he decides to build on top of my house in this nice little like wall place thing. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And you build that. We have a grand old time, you know, running around having a double-decker mailbox.
Mm-hmm.
So the Discord server we normally talk on. Someone sends a screenshot, and they had built a house on top of your house,
which is on top of your house.
Yeah. So we're like, oh, that's funny. Man, that's great. So, the week progresses. I come back on the server. And, well, someone had built, like, not even, like, I had to go, I was busy with schoolwork and stuff, so I was away for a couple of days. And I come back, and there's 5 houses on top of the already other 3 houses. And, like, each way, like, every time it gets more and more elaborate. And, like...
Well, it's like, the first time it was like, you built a house. And then the second time it was like, oh, I built a house on top of your house. That's like, could be a coincidence. We just build houses in the same spot. The third time, it's a pattern. And it's snowballs from there.
Yeah, and now there is a giant house totem with 15 different architectural styles and a giant rainbow circling the top with, like, I don't know how tall it... So, someone actually has... I've just been... something I saw interesting is someone is making a list of the tallest buildings. And,
surely that's the tallest.
Yeah, I think that has to be. If not, we're gonna start digging down, because I think eventually we're gonna hit the wall limit. But,
yeah.
If we dig down to, like, bedrock, we could then cut around the sides. Technically, then it would still be...
On the surface?
Whatever the... Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think that's the plan.
Yeah. I know, I've definitely heard people talking about, like, trying to get the totem up to, like, whatever the max build height.
I think 256 blocks.
Just, like, keep adding more houses onto it. But
base 64. Yeah.
I might add another one.
Should be interesting.
As like a silly,
I might as well.
like...
I've already added... I've had my main house, and then I added, like, a joking, like, dirt hut on top of, like, when it had gotten to a ridiculous point.
Yeah, see, I haven't added anything ridiculous yet. All I have is, like, my actual house, which I live in.
Yeah. Annoying thing people have done is they've started building sideways. It's like, that's not really the essence, but we allowed it because it looks funny.
Well, we allowed it because, like, we didn't... I don't know. I'm not sure we allowed any of this, but it's occurred.
Yeah.
We're not going to make a huge effort to tear it down, but...
Yeah, we're not gonna... Yeah. But,
yeah.
It's been interesting.
But if the sideways building gets out of hand, I mean, it's eventually just going to be like a... big,
the house, like, omnipresent.
House cluster. Which would be interesting if the whole world was nothing but, like, little tiny houses that are all connected.
There is a really interesting Minecraft seed where everything is a village, and that gets pretty mind-bending quickly.
Yeah, but they're not...
Like
the houses aren't all
SCP.
connected, though.
Oh, yeah. If they were all connected, then yeah.
Yeah, like, imagine, like, there's... Like, yeah, just everywhere you go, there's, like, you're in a room, and then there's a door that leads to another house.
Oh, actually,
or there's, like, a trap door on the ceiling and the floor.
I wouldn't mind.
It's like you can go in any direction.
Like, you get, like 100-ish people to build their own custom individual room in these parameters, and then you have a map where it just randomly generates an alteration of that room every time, of every different person.
Maybe this should be our next build, is just a giant cube that...
Like that's like a massive puzzle cube that you have to get out.
Like 100 by 100 by 100, but each...
No, 1,000 by 1,000.
but each 10 by 10 by 10 is a separate house.
Yeah, a billion. Yeah, that'd be great.
And then you'd end up in the center somewhere, and you're just, like, going through doors trying to find your way out.
Yeah, and it'd be like a puzzle. Like, there will be, like, rooms where... we have two in the middle of, like, the ocean out of, like, black concrete, so it would look like this weird, like, alien spaceship that, like, landed on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, you crawl through the top, and then, like, you fall straight into the middle. And then you just have to get out. It'd be cool if we did, like, a one-time thing where there's a timer, and if you fail, the whole like structure we spent, like, weeks on explodes.
Yeah. You enter it, and there's clues hidden in different different coordinates inside the giant cube shape.
Yeah.
And they direct you to different ones,
But every individual like coordinate number is put in a different book that's also hidden in some other way, where you have to go through like 50 other rooms to get the first part of the first number that's gonna let you actually get one of the first books for the first number that's gonna let you get the first clue for the other clue, to then hopefully you get the clue for the door. Maybe it could be one of those things where it's like the exit's literally just in the main room, and everything kind of just builds off from there. That'd be interesting.
But if you don't do it within the time limit, it explodes with you inside.
Yeah, exactly. It'll work in perfect less. Yes. So, a slight update on like mobile games. I think we were talking about last episode.
Yeah.
I've started playing a few that are based not off like levels, but they're like games where like it's like an old mobile game I used to play on my dad's old Motorola phone, which was like a golf game, and then like you would have to swing and then get it in like within the right lines to hit it properly. It's like those games where you have to like those old flash games where you just have to fling something as far as you possibly could. I've played games more like that, which have been quite interesting, where like you'll get money and then you can buy upgrades with the money, so you go further to get more money to buy more upgrades. That's been a interesting experience.
Like Hedgehog Launch.
Yeah, or Learn to Fly.
Right.
And such other classics. And I've played, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's been interesting. Just as I guess like a game follow-up.
I feel like I'm much less depressed than I was previously, and have dug myself out of the crappy mobile game hole I was in. I haven't really been playing mobile games as far as I can remember, partially because I've been playing so much Minecraft, but if I was to play a mobile game, I think it would be something of a little more quality, like Mini Metro, or one of like my old favorites. Although, wait, actually, I have downloaded a new game. I've only played it a little bit, but I wanted to try out, as much as I am grumpy about Bethesda's recent business moves.
Yep.
Of let's spend all of our time making MMO and let's come out with some mobile game with lots of in-app purchases. Like,
because who wouldn't want that?
Instead of just making Elder Scrolls 6 and, making it awesome and coming out with it.
Yeah.
They're doing a lot of moves that get them more money for less work, like re-releasing Skyrim a million times and perpetuating their MMO for like the people who are like subscribed to it, because it's like, you make more money off of less people. Not everybody plays MMOs, but
yeah.
Anyways, as upset as I am about that, like I still was like, the Blades Elder Scrolls mobile game is free, so might as well download it and try it out. It's okay. I don't think the combat's not anything really special. It's
fair enough.
It's about what you would expect from
a mobile game made by Bethesda in 2000 whatever.
Yeah, like they made it look like it was like, oh, this is gonna be just like Skyrim or something, but it's like it is a mobile game. Like, it's important to remember that. Like, it's not really of the same caliber. But I'll probably play it a little bit more. I don't know. Yeah. Character creator was fun in it, so at least there's that.
And yeah, I've been playing more shooty man games as well. I've started playing Borderlands 3 sequel. Because if you listen to the podcast, but by definition you are. I do quite like the Borderlands games. But a new game series I've been playing is Enter the Gungeon, which is like a top-down.
I've seen you playing that
game. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's top-down, you said?
Yeah, top-down shooter. Like a roguelike. But yeah, it's great. And I haven't got past like the first like area yet. Just because it does have quite a learning curve, which I'm trying to get down. But I've played more challenging games and been able to master them. So, but just need to play it more. Yeah. But I think that's all I've been doing in my gamingness so far.
I'd be interested to actually see some gameplay of that.
I mean, I don't know. See if I can set up a recording. If I can set up my recording software, I might try to get some Wabbles content.
Oh yeah, or maybe some Mabuga.
MBG. Mabuga. Or I'm gonna put since we've been talking about French, I'm gonna put one of our initial something we've been talking about and see if anyone can tell us what it is, and it's Mubaguette.
Mubaguette, yeah.
Mubaguette. Should we just give them a random Minty Boys initials and see if they can get it? But yeah.
So, speaking of dumb ideas, like Mubaguette.
Yep.
You have something here?
So I thought maybe just at the end of the podcast where people were probably not going to listen as much, I would just have a section where either me or you can just dump a dumb idea we've had in the past, like time between. And I thought of a podcast where a below average height person, and then an even shorter person, and then someone considered tall, and then someone taller, and then someone who's the average height, just have a podcast where they talk about, I guess, height related issues. Or just talk in general about quality of life and see if there's actually a change depending on this one characteristic of people.
That is interesting. I feel like there's going to be too many other factors that are going to affect it, though.
Yeah, it feels like if there was definitely, but so to try to get 5 people with these oddly specific traits would be weird.
I don't know how many episodes you can get out of so do you have a hard time reaching the upper shelf in the grocery store?
Probably inevitably it would just become a
not
normal
really
podcast.
No, not at all.
I mean, eventually it'll just get to a point where it'll just become just a standard podcast with 5 guys that all are just slightly taller and or shorter than each other.
Yeah, it would eventually you'd get to know the people, and it's it wouldn't really be too relevant. It would just be occasionally relevant, and that would be exciting when it was, I guess.
Yeah.
I was in the store the other day and someone asked if I played basketball. Does that ever happen to you? It's no, literally never.
I went to a small holiday country cottage and I banged my head on the doorway. It's oh nope, this never happened to me. I'm really good at limbo. Terrible, actually.
You wouldn't believe this, but
yeah,
not so good. Yeah. What would you call that podcast?
SSTTE. I don't know. Star. Ooh. Maybe something to do with because it's height is when you're plotting a graph, height is a variable.
Height.
Order of magnitude.
Order of magnitude. That's it. That's it. Because they're in order, the order of the Phoenix or something. But it's They are the order of magnitude. Oh my
And then
God.
also it's describing of
And it's like, yeah. And then they also have, they'd
have they all meet in person, and like the table's actually in like a nice slant.
yeah.
Yeah,
The
I mean,
table's in a
that's-
slant.
well, yes, and like actually, yes, the actual table itself.
Yeah, I
Or, like,
love.
you see the chairs, like those office chairs, and you see that everyone's adjusted at a different level as well.
I love that visual. No, the chairs are all identical. The table is what has to
Oh, you're right.
change.
Right.
The table is like a pool. It's got the deep end. It's got the shallow end. The tall person
Yep.
at one end of the table, it just is like almost looking down. If he sets something on the table, it's gonna roll straight towards the tiny person. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Like we had just come up with like a cool idea. and it's just
Adjustable-
gone back into
Adjustable chairs, never heard of them. Don't.
adjustable tables.
Adjustable tables is where it's at.
Yep, pepperoni.
It's got the table's got like 4 sets of legs on the bottom, and they all slide up and down.
Yeah,
And we've just adjusted it to gradually go in one direction.
And I guess like the table joints are like gyroscopic, so you can have them at like varying levels without like shifting the table too much.
I mean, that or the table is really blocky, and it's kind of like when you have your individual desks in school, but they push them all together to be a single table.
Right.
But they're actually like connected, and it's just some are taller than others.
Right. And also they're tilted at like 45 degrees.
No, if you're gonna make it individual
Like-
blocks, why would they still be tilted?
Right.
I was trying to come up with a way to make it more functional. To have like a really
I see, right.
like it could be designed to look kind of cool, like a modern kind of blocky design.
They could just do every episode on like a set of stairs.
It would be funny if they swapped seats though.
Oh, one
They do
episode.
They do musical chairs.
April
or
Fool's
something.
episode. April Fools, they all like they go in a random order.
I like that this imaginary podcast we now have it to where they have to meet in person every time to record an episode.
Yeah.
Is there a video component to this or something?
Or if not, the audio version, all of their voices are tonally adjusted to the correct pitch. So the tall pass has like a really deep voice, and the short pass has a really high voice.
Wouldn't that naturally
even
be the
matter.
case anyway?
Yeah, but sometimes if you have like an abnormality, you can just kind of. But probably yeah, but
Yeah. It would almost be weirder to try and set them all to like the same pitch.
oh yeah, that would be weird.
And then on your podcast with 5 people, you can't tell the people apart because they all sound the same.
You should have to get from context clues about how they discuss their height.
Yeah. Or you have to really pay attention to their speech patterns and catchphrases.
Like how everything's rolling back into one in this episode. You managed to cross-reference several things.
That's just good podcasting, Wobbs. Welcome to
Good
episode
podcast.
11.
We've been doing this for almost a year now. God.
Mm. We are approaching the
The anniversary.
anniversary, yeah.
Say in
in,
Frogland country.
October 1st.
Yeah, man.
I will say if you haven't joined the Discord yet, there's a special achievement for having joined it prior to
Oh yeah, of course.
the 1-year anniversary. So,
Yeah,
do that.
you should go do that.
Yeah.
No pressure, but you should definitely go do that.
No pressure, but I feel bad about having achievements that are impossible for people to get later. But had to
Push
be
it as
done.
much as possible.
It didn't
Yeah.
have to be done, but it
That's how
kind of
mafia
had to be
works.
done.
But yeah, I think it's a good note to end on.
What? Go join the Discord?
Yeah, and oh yeah, we have a Patreon now, so
No,
you don't have to. But
join that as well, I suppose.
Cool. See you, Minters.
See ya.
Chapter 22. Alrighty then. So
where the last chapter left off, Arthur ran into man.
an old man. Yes.
An old man, that's right.
Yeah, this old man's wearing a single long grey robe. He was watching the sunset as well.
Yes, I think so.
Oh
right, he explains that like the system was automated, which we basically figured out. But,
yeah.
The way in which he explains it, though, makes me feel a little bit differently about it, because he's like something dusty data banks. I think they take occasional pot shots to relieve the monotony. So it's sounding less like an automated system and more like an intelligent AI that just gets bored.
Being enslaved. Yeah.
The computer probably could have chose not to send the missiles and just was like, yeah. Let's blow him up.
Oh yeah. Then he feels like he has like the response of being like a man who was caught in adultery, who is surprised when the woman's husband wanders into the room, changes trousers, passes a few idle remarks about the weather, and leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old man seems to pick up on this, but Arthur is just like, oh yeah, I was just kind of confused because I gathered you all had died.
Right. And he explains that they
were sleeping.
Yeah, they just chose to sleep through the recession, wait for the rest of the galaxy to...
Because they're like sleeping pod things were linked up to the galactic stock market.
Right.
So then once the economy had become stable again, they could awake and give this planet building services.
Yeah, which totally makes sense from their perspective, but it's also kind of...
building plants is pretty expensive.
Kind of sleazy.
Yeah.
Like, they're not going to contribute to rebuilding the economy. We're just going to hang out and wait for you guys to deal with that.
Yeah, so you can't actually afford our services. Wait, is this where the guy says he likes building fjords?
I think he mentions it, but it'll probably come up later.
Yeah.
I do think it's interesting that the use of his use of the word late, because he's like, you better come with me or else you'll be late, and then he's like, as in the late Dent Arthur Dent, implying let here be like dead. I always think it's weird when there's wordplay like that in stories where the characters aren't speaking the language in which the wordplay works in.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like, is this guy speaking English, or is he speaking whatever Magrathian, and Arthur's just got his fish in his ear?
Yeah.
That always bugs me a little bit in like sci-fi stuff when there's a universal translator, but it's like somehow you can also still make puns and have people not be confused.
Yeah.
Shouldn't take it too seriously in this because it's like a comedy, but
yeah, it's a comedy book.
That is a thing I've seen in a fair amount of sci-fi where it's just like I don't think they thought it through fully of like how language works.
Yeah, like in can't think of a specific example, but yeah.
There's one Doctor Who episode where they're in Pompeii.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And he says something about, like, the son and then, like, the son of a father. And I'm just like, okay, but those aren't the same.
Yeah, and also, it would be different in Latin.
I guess I don't know. Maybe that does work in Latin, but...
But, yeah, that's an Anglicism. But, Arthur calls him an extraordinary person. And then they get in an air car. Mm-hmm. And they're talking about how they're going to the bowels of the planet to see the Magrathians wake up after a 5 million year slumber.
Wait, is that in...
Yeah. Near the end. And then, Arthur asked his name. The old man said he said it wasn't important earlier. And then he asked, and his name is, Slarty Bartfast.
Right. Yeah.
Arthur is joking. It's like joking around and laughing, and then the guy's like, I said it wasn't important.
Yeah.
Then they skedaddled into the night.
I feel like he must get picked on for Slarty Bart Fast, even amongst his own people.
Yeah, I wonder.
But interesting thing about that, though, is that when I was reading this, I was jotting down notes on my phone for it.
Right.
And it auto-completed Slarty Bart Fast, like it was in the default Apple dictionary.
I'm glad Slotty Bot Fast is in the dictionary.
Yeah, I mean, you can be picked on for it, but in the end, he's got his name into the thing, so
the official online dictionary. But yeah,
or at least it was able to figure out what I was typing. I don't know.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's basically where the chapter ends. So we'll pick it up next time.
Chapter 23. Chapter 23.
Yeah, I think this might be the shortest chapter so far. Like, they're all fairly short. This one is like a page.
Yeah,
and a half,
pretty much.
Whatever.
And it's talking about man assuming it was smart, but then dolphins are like, no me.
Right, yeah. It's basically, it confirms dolphins as the second most intelligent species. And
pretty much.
And they're smarter than humans.
So don't they perceive? Yeah, man sees dolphins as dumber than they are because man has done so much, such as war, and dolphins think they were far more intelligent for precisely the same reasons. Is that like in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy universe? Is there some kind of like dolphin war?
No, I think it's for the reasons that they didn't do those things. Like, all the dolphins do is just, like, hang out and have fun. And they're like, clearly we're smarter than these stupid people who are working themselves to death and, like, fighting each other.
Right, okay. Right, I took it as some dark dolphin war.
The hidden dolphin wars. No.
Isn't there isn't there a treehouse horror episode of The Simpsons where dolphins take the world back and kill everyone?
Probably.
Make them all swim in tanks for fun.
It's quite possible.
But dolphins sent messages that humans misunderstood.
The last one being, so long and thanks for all the fish.
There was a dolphin doing a double backwards somersault through a hoop whilst whistling the Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah, I don't know how we misinterpreted it.
The last paragraph talks about how the most intelligent was, spent their time in behavioral research laboratories, running inside wheels and conducting frightening, elegant, and subtle experiments on man. But man completely misinterpreted this relationship.
But it doesn't go into exact detail of what that species is. I think we've gotten some clues up to this point.
Yeah, I think so. You know,